5% less sugar than Gatorade Thirst Quencher, and no artificial flavors, sweeteners, or colors. Big shots deserve next-level hydration. Only at King Soopers.
Is your financial advisor managing your risk or just a spreadsheet? Hi, I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. Many financial advisors rely on target date funds, which are one-size-fits-all portfolios that don't know your name, your family, or your goals. And that passive management can leave you dangerously exposed. At Trajan, we look at the whole picture, not just the stocks everyone else buys, but the private market opportunities most advisors ignore. And as fiduciaries, we build a strategy around you, coordinating your investments, tax strategy, and estate into one cohesive plan. Your financial life deserves more than just a generic portfolio. Real planning isn't a stack of statements. It's the confidence of knowing where your income will come from for the next 30 years. Good enough isn't good enough for your family. It's time for a change. Schedule your complimentary consultation today.
Call Trajan today at 720-204-8100. That's 720-204-8100.
Advisory services through Trajan Wealth, LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Private equity investments require accreditation. Other services through Trajan Estate and Trajan Tax. Additional disclosures at TrajanWealth.com.
You can't always predict what's next, but you can be ready for it in a BMW SUV. The performance-driven X1 comes built for every journey, while the X3's sporty design and innovative technology keep your drive connected. The X5 blends performance with a commanding presence, or make it even bigger with 3 rows of luxurious seating in the X7. For every road, there's an X built to drive it. BMW, the ultimate driving machine.
Gebhardt BMW, your trusted family dealer since 1975.
This wasn't how Patrick pictured himself in retirement. Instead of playing golf every day, he could barely walk because of his severe knee pain.
It hampered everything because it hurt to walk around the golf course. It hurt to swing, just pretty much hurt doing anything.
But the groundbreaking regenerative treatments at QC Kinetics changed everything for Patrick. QC Kinetics uses your body's own healing properties to help repair and restore damaged tissue in your knees, hips, back, and shoulders. No surgery, no drugs, no downtime.
The turnaround's been amazing from where I was to where I am now. I've gone from a 15 handicap down to a 7 handicap. That's because my knees allow me to play golf like I haven't been able to play probably in 15 years.
Don't let joint pain keep you from doing what you love. Call QC Kinetics today for your complimentary consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 303-900-8986. That's 303-900-8986. 303-900-8986.
Max HELOC is a game changer and can lower your bill significantly without affecting your current loan. How much savings depends on your unique situation, but you could borrow $250,000 with a payment option as low as $495 a month. Consolidate your debts and make life a lot easier. We make it easy to save, and you don't need perfect credit either. U.S. Mortgages, and our number says it all, 303 low rate.
All loans subject to approval and change. License number 392126.
The Mine Safety and Health Administration reminds you that mining accidents and injuries are preventable. Staying alert and focused can keep you safe. Take time, save lives. Visit MSHA.gov.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Welcome to Denver Sports Tonight, taking a look at the biggest stories in Denver sports. From your online home for the best opinions and information on the Broncos, Nuggets, Avalanche, Rockies, and more. DenverSports.com.
Back at it on a Monday. Mike Rice, Dante Gomez. Here until 7. What a weekend. Man, oh man. I mean, not only all the Nuggets, the Avs, ongoing Broncos and NFL draft stuff, but it was Easter weekend. Dante, through all of it, I trust you had a good one.
I did. It was filled with Easter lunch and watching a lot of sports.
Yeah, right.
I mean, Saturday it was just like a quadruple header. It was Avs, Stars, it was Nuggets, Spurs, and then it was the first game of the Final Four, and then the second game of the Final Four. So I just sat on the couch for, what would that be, like 8 hours straight, basically? And I loved every second of it.
Yeah, that's awesome. Hey, I got to tell you a quick story about my weekend. So I was doing a PA for a high school baseball tournament, and one of the games was 17-15 in 8 innings, which is, high school games are normally 7, and it took 3.5 hours. It was like this is like Coors Field special. It was crazy. I mean, my scorecard was, you would have appreciated my scorecard. I never keep score in pen, but when it really doesn't matter, I do. But if I'm calling a game, I won't keep score in pen because it's just dangerous. And I was keeping it in pen, and I'll show you a picture of it. I took a picture of it.
Okay. And this might be outing me a little bit.
Yes.
I've never kept book. I know how to, but I've never done it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we all have this is really funny. So way back in the day when I was just a little wee tyke, I had this, honestly, it was a Charlie Brown baseball game. And it was a dice game where you roll and it had a chart of what happens. And I started keeping score. And so I still do things that are not really the official way to keep score for a baseball game. Like in my box, in my scorebook, I'll put like every RBI as a dot. And people keep it different ways. Like, so if a guy gets a 2-run double, I'll put 2 dots in that at bat. You know, it's little things like that, idiosyncrasies. Anyway, on to much more interesting things, and not my Charlie Brown baseball game teaching me how to keep score from umpteen years ago. Nuggets were in action. The Avs were in action. The Broncos will be in action in the draft in just a couple of weeks. And we also have a basketball game to decide a college national champion tonight. We will cover all of that ground. And we start with our Denver Nuggets. Dante, as you saw that game against the Spurs unfold, and ultimately the Nuggets find a way to pull it off in overtime, what was your overriding thought or emotion?
I mean, I was just happy that they won the game.
Sure.
I would start off with that, but secondarily, it was that they can beat a good team, and that's not rocket science. It's not a hot take there, but this win streak has been a little hollow, I would say. They've played a lot of bad teams during this, but they were able to go out there and compete and get it out the mud and go out and beat a good team with Victor Wembanyama. Last time the Nuggets played the Spurs, Wemby wasn't out there, obviously, and it was still a pretty close game there. So the fact that they were able to go out there and beat a good team, have the mental toughness to overcome, go into overtime and still get a win, I was just very encouraged by that not only I've never had a question if they can beat the bad teams in the NBA. They go out there and do that very routinely, but it's, can you get it done against the Thunder? Can you get it done against a team like the Spurs, maybe the Celtics, those upper echelon teams? And to me, they showed that they can do that.
To your point, in the 8-game winning streak, in order, they have won at home against Toronto and Portland, at Phoenix, home against Dallas, Utah, and Golden State, at Utah, and then beat San Antonio in Denver on Saturday night by 2 in overtime. There is a part of me that came out of that game a little more encouraged about the possibility of a deep playoff run. I've not been down on them, but we've talked about the defensive issues, and that still remains a concern. But the fact that they were able to win, overtime or not, and just outscore somebody and make plays, and Joker seemingly being focused like he hasn't been recently. Maybe focused is the wrong word. He just seemed like he was just determined to figure out a way to will his team to win. I just thought there were a lot of good things, and when you couple it with the Lakers' injuries, I fully expect the Nuggets to wind up in the third seed. I really do.
Yeah, I do too at this point. I think it would be disappointing if they're not the 3 seed, and obviously that helps the Nuggets push off their matchup with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It also does set up a most likely second-round matchup with the San Antonio Spurs, so we might get an entire series of good as basketball as we just saw on Saturday. So I'm excited for that matchup. I'm excited to see, especially if the Spurs can win their first-round matchup, what Wemby looks like in a 7-game series going against Jokic. I mean, those are 2 of the top 3 best players in the world, 2 of the top 5 best players in the world, and seeing that chess match go back and forth, I think that would make for incredible basketball. So hopefully the Nuggets are able to go out and secure that 3 seed and set up what I would think would be one of the better playoffs matchups there, in terms of they go against the Timberwolves in round 1, the Spurs in round 2, and the Thunder in round 3. I mean, for anybody that's trying to discredit the Nuggets' first championship a couple years ago, this would certainly be the opposite of that.
It really would. No question. And the Lakers are just decimated by not only the injury to Luka Doncic, but now Austin Reeves is going to be on the shelf with the oblique. Not a good situation. And I was wondering, as the injury news for the Lakers was coming down over the last few days, I mean, could Minnesota overtake Houston? Not likely. Houston leading by 3 games with four to go for Houston anyway, and also 4 left for Minnesota. And I'm not sure who has the tiebreaker in that series, but even if Minnesota had the tiebreaker, that would be a heck of an accomplishment. So I would expect that it will be the Nuggets against the Timberwolves in the first round. I mean, I tell you what, I'd rather play the Rockets in the first round, but I think I'd rather have the Nuggets play the Spurs in the Western semis as opposed to the Thunder.
Yeah, I'm in full agreement on that. I think the Rockets are the weakest of the top 6 seeds, and we'll see about the Timberwolves. Anthony Edwards has been hurt for a good portion of March. I think he just recently came back here, but they've been struggling. Obviously, you just read out the standings there, but it's very unlikely that the Timberwolves catch the Rockets for that 5 seed, so that basically equates to the Timberwolves have had a bad, what would that be, like 2.5 weeks here as of late. So there's a chance that the Nuggets get an easy one with Minnesota. It feels like it's never easy when it's Minnesota, but there's a chance that ends up being a 4-0 sweep or maybe a gentleman's sweep with a 4-1 at the end of that first round.
You can join in on the RamosLaw.com text line 303-713-1043. I was just thinking about the Nuggets and what we saw, and I was trying to figure out where to go, and I've got to start with Aaron Gordon. We were talking on Friday night, Dante, and really last week about how should David Adelman handle minutes. You can't just rest everybody, but I said you have to be careful with AG. He's that important, and he still doesn't look 100%. I don't know if he does to you, but sure doesn't to me. 41 minutes for AG in the win over the Spurs. 15 points on 7 of 12, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, only 2 turnovers in those 41 minutes. I mean, think of this. Joker played 44 minutes and had no turnovers. So those two guys combined for 85 minutes and turn it over twice. It's remarkable. But to stick with AG, I mean, he's just a difference maker. There are nights when he can score 35 or 40. We've seen that. But there is also the situation where he doesn't have to score at all. I mean, 15 points is relatively quiet for him. 12 shots is not a lot, and he had only 4 3-point attempts. But he does everything that you need him to do. He's so versatile, so tough, so calm, so poised, all of those things. And in spite of all that, I'm concerned about the injury flaring up. Are you?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
It's hard not to be. And you're right. I get that we had a much better version of him on Saturday, but he still doesn't quite look as athletic as what we've come to know Aaron Gordon as, where he what was it, the alley-oop at one point? I was a little nervous that he wasn't going to make that. He barely caught it and threw it in there. And old Aaron Gordon, that's never a worry in your mind. So I think the athleticism isn't quite exactly what we've grown accustomed to, but he still has it in there. And everything you just mentioned as well, the calm, the poise, I think the trust that Nikola Jokic has in him as he's been here for maybe a half decade, longer than that, I guess, by now. I think that they have a kind of an unspoken thing out there on the court where they know where each other are going to be out there at all times. So, and he's just so efficient with the ball. And you mentioned that he doesn't even need to score really to make a huge impact on a game, but he just has a quiet, not so quiet, but 7 of 12 shooting. Anything over 50% in my book is great in the NBA. But a quiet 15 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He just does a little bit of everything, and he's very reliable, and you know what you're going to get when he's out there. So I think he is, to me, the biggest X factor for this Nuggets team. And you mentioned, I don't know if we can trust his body through the playoffs, and I think that's why he is the X factor, in my opinion, is because we don't necessarily know how long this version of him is going to be able to last. And I'm talking about years, and I'm even talking about weeks.
Here's the interesting thing. The Lakers have 4 games left, and the Lakers are, I want to make sure I have this right. I do. I have their schedule up. Oklahoma City at home, at Golden State, then home games against Phoenix and Utah, and they will finish next Sunday. So they go Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. The Nuggets go Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Sunday. So they're staggered a day ahead in these first 2 games, the early part of the week. And I just look at the Lakers now, and I say, I'd like to think they could beat Utah, which you appropriately said last week, they don't even want to win. So,
well, the organization doesn't want them to win. I think the players still want to win.
Well, right.
But yes, that can obviously hold a team back if the organization is trying to win.
Right. When decisions on playing time become rather important. But I don't see them beating Oklahoma City anywhere right now. I don't see them winning at Golden State, and I certainly don't see them beating Phoenix at home. And they might beat Utah at home. That's 1-3. And they're tied right now with the Nuggets. And while the Nuggets' last 2 games, are against the top 2 teams in the West, tonight against Portland, Wednesday against Memphis, OKC comes to town on Friday. Those are all Nuggets home games. I could see the Nuggets winning all 3 of those. Now, the Thunder game would be difficult, of course, even here. But I see this Nuggets team, part of the reason for my encouragement, Dante, is the fact that I see them with the focus, with the mojo. And when I see that intensity, which I wasn't seeing even, especially right after the All-Star break, as Joker tried to get back into things, and it wasn't crisp at all. And they're starting to get that look again. And so that's why, if they're not playing defense, I still think that I feel better about where they are given how they're playing. Not just the fact they're winning, but how they're playing.
Yeah, no, it seems to be a playoff version of this team, in that they've kicked the regular season out and that they're ready to go full blast, pedal to the metal. This is playoff basketball at this point. And I'm right there with you. It seems to be a different version of Nikola Jokic. Feels like he's maybe playing himself into playoff shape as well over the last couple weeks here. The turnovers have been way down to where that was an issue coming out of the injury there in February. So it feels like the whole team knows the mission ahead, and they're very focused on that. And we'll see where the chips lie. There's no guarantee that just because they're focused and dialed in that they're going to go out and win an NBA championship. There's a lot of other good teams in the NBA. So you have to go out and play your best basketball just to give yourself a chance to go out and win a playoff series and hopefully win an NBA championship. So I'm excited to see where they're at. I'm just happy that they're playing their best version of basketball. I think it would have been really disappointing if they went out in the playoffs and it just didn't look like what we've grown accustomed to, what Nuggets basketball is.
Right. And again, I'm completely with you about during the winning streak, they haven't been beating, the Spurs and the Thunder every game or even every other game. I completely get it. But at the same time, the way they're playing has been more settling to me personally. Again, not great on the defensive end, but better. And getting more contributions from a variety of sources. Love what Christian Brown did. I don't know if that's going to continue. I hope that it gives him a little confidence here down the stretch and into the postseason with the 5 for 11 from downtown against San Antonio. That was obviously a big sign. Cam Johnson appears to be hitting the stride that certainly I thought, and I think many of us thought, he would have from the get-go way back in November. It didn't materialize early in the season. Then he gets hurt, misses the chunk of time. But you go 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 8 from downtown. You chip in with 7 rebounds, couple of blocks. I like the way that starting 5, Dante, is solidifying. And if AG can stay healthy, and I know it's a big if, man, I feel so much more just at ease. Like, it's not a perfect basketball team, but they're going to have a shot, no doubt.
Yeah, and it's a better version of the basketball team that I think we've seen the last 2 seasons.
Yeah.
We're talking about, you mentioned the starting 5 there. Obviously, the starting 5 is pretty similar to what we've seen the last handful of years. But coming off the bench, I mean, there's guys you can trust with Tim Hardaway Jr., Bruce Brown in certain moments. You can throw him in there as well. So Peyton Watson, when he's hopefully healthy here too. So you have 3 reliable guys that you can go to off the bench, and then you can also throw in a Valanciunas or Julian Strawther that can give you some spot minutes. So I think that, again, they're giving themselves the best chance to go out and win another championship here. I don't know if that's going to be enough, but it's all you can do at this point is set yourself up to be in the best position possible.
Yeah, I think it's really hard to say that anything's enough when you look at the Thunder and how deep they are. But again, you got to get there. You got to get to the matchup, and hopefully it materializes. All right, flipping it over to the Avs, huge win against the Stars on Saturday. And as great as that win was, I understand the game wasn't as important. I was frustrated watching the end of that game against St. Louis when Blackwood gives up the goal. I mean, it's not even an issue at this point. Wedgwood is the starting goalie, and he should be the starting goalie for the playoffs. Maybe Blackwood gets another start or 2 down the stretch here. But, Dante, this is Scott Wedgwood's team, and I think they play differently. I think they play more confidently. I think they feel like even if there's a slip-up along the front line or even along the blue line, they have confidence that Wedgie can bail them out because he has time and time again. And the Dallas game on Saturday was just another example. Marty Netjes coming up huge. Look, the Avs have been the wagon all year long. Dallas crept within 3 points, playing out of its mind. This is the Avalanche's turn, and they need to take advantage of it. And if they don't, they've got no one to blame.
Yeah, they need to
really
go out
don't.
and take it.
Yeah, they do.
They are the best team in the NHL, and if they don't win, to me, that's a disappointing season. And it's hard to say that about professional sports when only one team gets to raise the trophy at the end of the year. But this Avs team is that good to where that's my expectation. That's the bar for me, is going out and winning a Stanley Cup. And they proved it on Saturday with that win over the Stars. And Scott Wedgwood, you are right. He gives this group a lot of confidence back there, just as a security blanket of, hey, we can go out there and play fast, play the version of hockey we want to play, which is a lot of offensive, peppering the net with goals. They almost always are leading the game in shots on net. They're almost always leading the game in possession of the puck as well. And Scott Wedgwood allows them to do that with confidence, just knowing that you have a guy back there that's going to make almost every single save, where Mackenzie Blackwood, it just doesn't look the same, doesn't feel the same. So I'm there with you. Game 1, round 1, it has to be Scott Wedgwood. I wouldn't be surprised if Mackenzie Blackwood plays in, I'll call it, multiple playoff games. But when I say multiple, I'm talking about maybe 2 or 3, maybe 4 along the way. I think Scott Wedgwood is the starter for 90% of the games.
Yeah, that's an interesting one. I don't know why Jared Bednar would play Blackwood in the playoffs. If he makes the decision that Wedgwood is the guy, and I think my thought is decide on a goalie for the playoffs. Decide on the guy you're going to ride with. And I would pick Wedgwood. I think most people objectively looking at the team and the body of work through the year would also pick Wedgwood. Maybe not. But this is not a participation type of situation now. It's like you play your guy in the playoffs. Now, if Wedgwood falters, if something happens, obviously injury, knock on wood, we don't want any of that to happen, but that changes the whole conversation. But all things being equal, I don't know. I hope Blackwood, if he's the number 2 goalie going into the postseason, I hope Wedgwood plays every game, because if he does, I think the Avs are taking care of business.
Yeah, no, that is true. But I just feel like in general, at some point, these guys like to give their goalkeeper or goaltender a night off. Maybe it's 3 games and 4 nights. I know usually it is every other night once you get to the playoffs, but it's not always that scenario. So I could see maybe on a back-to-back, something like that, Mackenzie Blackwood gives them a spot start, but I think you still have a little bit of confidence in Blackwood. It's not like it's all shot. It's not like when you put him out there, you know you're going to lose the game. I just think you have more confidence in Wedgwood. And when he goes out there, the team plays with a different confidence. And I watch it with a different confidence just as the viewer.
Yeah, if the playoffs were to start today, the Avs would start with the Nashville Predators, and the Edmonton Oilers would start with the other wild card, the Utah Mammoth. Now, it's possible that could change if Utah and Nashville switch places. But as of now, I would rather see the Avs play the Predators as opposed to the Mammoth. I don't think it'd be a huge deal either way. I think Utah's just trickier. That's just my take on it.
Yeah, they're a little, what is the word we use on the draft? Plucky, I think is what Zach and Phil have been using. I think Utah fits that narrative that they're up and coming, haven't been to the playoffs in a very long time. And Utah, in general, obviously, they just got a hockey team, but that organization hasn't been to the playoffs in a while. And Utah would probably be on fire. If they end up getting in the playoffs, that place would be incredibly loud. I think it'd be a tough environment, just knowing that when a franchise makes their first playoff appearance in a while, usually that fan base is pretty rabid and eager for that. So I'm there with you. I think I would prefer not to face Utah, but either way, I'd have a lot of confidence in whoever the Avs play in the first round.
Yeah, I do too. I just would rather see it be Nashville. Again, all things being equal, I think the Avs should beat either team. It's not going to be easy. I want to say it's going to be easy, and the way the Avs,
I think it might be easy.
I think if it's Nashville, it might be easy. I would be less apt to make that statement.
Would you predict the opponent, no matter who it is, let's go blind, wins more than 1.5 games in the series?
No, I would not pick that.
I would consider that easy in my book. If you win 4-1 or 4-0, to me, that's pretty easy.
I think the nature of the games against Utah would be more competitive in general. So the Avs might find a way to win. I would expect that. I would expect them to win the series. I wouldn't expect it to go 7 games, but I would expect it to be a tougher series to get to eliminating the Mammoth. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. Who would you like the Avs to see in the second round? Do you want to go through the Stars, or do you want to say, all right, let's let Minnesota do the dirty work, and I'll take my chances, the Avs against the Wild?
I think I'd rather face Minnesota, just because the Stars seem to have the Avs number for the most part. And I get wanting to overcome a team that's beat you in the playoffs, particularly last year when it felt like the Avs should have won that series. I'm all for that, but I think Minnesota's not as big of a challenge as Dallas would be. So I'm all for the easiest path possible for this Avalanche team on their way to winning a cup. I think either way, it's going to be hard. It's going to be difficult in that second round. If we're talking about Minnesota in the second round, that means that they just took out the Dallas Stars, the team that people around here can be afraid of a little bit, me included. So either way, you're going to if you make it to the second, third round, the Stanley Cup, you're facing a pretty hot team at that point because that means they've already had some playoff success there.
All right, JD, I think on the RamosLaw.com text line brings up a good point. Winning the Cup is hard. We could easily lose a series, especially against a team like the Jets with an elite goaltender like Hellebuck. I completely agree with that. I want no part of Winnipeg in the playoffs. I will be completely honest about that. And the fact of the matter is, Dante, you look at the point situation, Utah has 86. So as JD points out, they look to be locked into that first wild card with, what do they have, 6 games left. Not impossible for them to falter, but then it's Nashville and LA with 81 apiece, San Jose with 79, St. Louis and Winnipeg each with 78. All those teams are lurking. And again, keep the Jets out, and the Blues have been hot lately. And we saw them come in and find a way to beat Blackwood last night, and get the win, which was just so frustrating to me. I know it didn't mean as much, but I would, of all of those teams, give me Nashville. I'm just not a believer.
Hold on, Mike. You said you completely agree with that text that they could easily lose a series to the Jets. I think it would be pretty difficult for this team to lose to the Jets in the first
easily,
round.
Okay,
I think that means full collapse for this team, which is not easy.
Full collapse to lose to Connor Hellebuck?
Yes. If you lose in the first round this year, that's a full collapse, and Jared Bednar's fired.
Okay, Well, okay.
And I would say that scenario is not very easy for me to see happen.
Well, what is easy for me to see happening, which is why I said that, is that I can see Hellebuck standing on his head and willing that team by himself.
Yeah, to maybe all win, maybe 2 wins, but 4 wins?
Well, okay. Look, I'm not trying to predict that it will happen or even there's a good chance of it happening. That guy in net is scary to me. I don't care what the team around him is like. That's all I'm saying. And
I think I can agree with you there.
And that's all I'm saying. In the Stanley Cup playoffs, Dante, we have seen it. 8 seeds beat 1 seeds more not routinely, more often. I don't have the numbers, but just anecdotally, it seems like there's a better chance in the Stanley Cup playoff of an 8 beating a 1, a 7 beating a 2, something like that, than there are in other sports because of the goalie. I mean, most, say, MLB teams don't have 3 aces to start in the playoffs. Or in basketball, there's only so many, may he rest in peace, Dikembe-led Nuggets teams that upset Seattle on an 8-1, that kind of thing. Hellebuck just scares me. I don't want him. I don't want him.
I get where you're coming from, but I think this Avalanche team is far and above anybody they're going to be facing in the first round. Again, to me, it would be very difficult for them to lose in the first round, and to me, that is a epic collapse from this team if they don't make it out of the first round.
Yeah, JD doesn't want Nashville because Soros in goal. Tricky matchup. I don't know. He just doesn't scare me as much as Hellebuck does. And it's not just the Olympics. It's not just that. Although that was just the latest example. Because you look at, and I know we're over, you look at Team Canada on the international scene, and that's kind of like Hellebuck facing the Avs in the NHL. It's to me, an apt comparison. It's the all-star team internationally for Canada that he was able to beat for Team USA. Team USA, no slouch, but at the same time, a hot goalie, that guy scares me. I don't want him. I don't want him at all. The Broncos are going to wind up with some players in a couple weeks in the NFL draft. What position will they target with their first pick? That's next.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
Sex, intimacy, love. These 3 things are critical to a good relationship, and that's the problem with erectile dysfunction. It often destroys sexual enjoyment and intimacy. It stresses the love between partners, often to the breaking point. This is Jeff for the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, and if you're suffering with ED, you likely know exactly what I'm talking about. But I also want you to know that ED doesn't have to impact your relationship anymore. At the Rocky Mountain Men's Clinic, we're ED experts with our focus on men's sexual health. We've treated tens of thousands of men and have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. I promise you, if you're like most guys, you can get your sex life back, perhaps even performing like you haven't in years. So if ED is affecting you, it's time to get back to better sex, better intimacy, and deeper love. Call us. Just $99 gets you blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 720-440-7900 or go to RockyMountainMen'sClinic.com.
The right financial strategies can make a huge difference, especially if you're nearing retirement. Adam Mueller talks retirement strategies with Mile High Money. Saturday mornings at 8 on Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan.
Dental phobia? Consider Sedation Dentistry with Clarkson Dental. Their highly trained team will lead you through an exceptional dental experience from that first fearful call all the way through to aftercare. Call the most experienced sedation dentist and staff. Clarkson Dental, ColoradoSedation.com.
Hey, it's Mike Evans. Let's talk about your hair. If you're losing it and desire it back, then do what I did and go see Dr. Tanya Pauls at Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can personally attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but close to it. They put hair where you need it the most, and bam, it grows. It's actually science. Advanced Hair has it all. Top-rated Dr. Tanya Pauls, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins regrowing the very next day. Advanced Hair even guarantees it to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation today. Call 720-459-HAIR and you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. That's 720-459-HAIR. Advanced Hair is the winner of Westward's Best of Denver, and they've changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. Become inspired with the before and afters at advancedhair.com. That's advancedhair.com.
After a devastating car crash, a lot of people think they can't afford a lawyer. They're already stressed, hurting, or maybe out of work. And the last thing they need is a big retainer fee to get help. But here's the truth. At Berg Simpson Law Firm, you only pay us if we win your case. That means there's no down payment and no upfront costs to get the help you need right now. Give Berg Simpson a call and we'll be with you every step of the way.
If you've been injured, call Berg Simpson for free now at 303-790-2525. BergSimpson.com. Good lawyers changing lives.
When disaster hits your home, it's game time. Water in the basement, fire damage, mold creeping in. Don't sit on the sidelines. Call Able. Able Restoration is your first round draft pick for emergency response, mitigation, and full rebuild. We move fast, protect your property, and fight for you with insurance start to finish. This isn't practice, this is your home. And when it's time to step up and protect what matters most, bring Able to the table. Call 303-590-5600. Go Able.
Bring Able to the table. Stoking for my friends at Roller Auction, a leader in Colorado auctions for over 50 years. And they got one of my favorite auctions that's open for bidding right now that's ending April 8th at 9 o'clock in the morning. Government Fleet Vehicle and Equipment Auction. This has got SUVs, sedans, pickup trucks, utility trucks, dump trucks, police vehicles, trailers, various municipality equipment, and so much more. Like I said, it's one of my favorite auctions. It's open for bidding right now. Go check it out. Only at rollerauction.com. That's rollerauction.com.
At Belco Credit Union, we want to make your dream renovation a reality. Maybe that means a modern kitchen upgrade or a luxurious new bathroom. With Belco's Home Equity Choice line, you can get easy access to funds with the freedom and convenience of a home equity line of credit, plus the security and stability of a home equity loan. Plus, Belco is also offering low rates for qualified borrowers. Learn more at belco.org/choiceline. Belco is an equal opportunity housing lender. Belco, banking for everyone.
Ready to be a driving force for your community? The Cherry Creek School District is seeking great people who care about kids to join its dedicated team of bus drivers. No CDL? No problem. Take advantage of paid training with benefits in a supportive and fun work environment. Starting pay at $24.39 an hour with excellent benefits. Feel good about what you do by helping provide safe, reliable transportation for Colorado kids. Apply now at cherrycreekschools.org.
It's Denver Sports Tonight on Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan.
Mike and Dante on a Monday night, closing out your Monday. Good discussion about the Nuggets and Abs as we head down the stretch and into the playoffs. The Broncos will be active in the NFL draft, and that's just a couple of weeks away, a little less than 2 weeks away. And I think, today's the 6th. No, a little more than 2 weeks.
2.5 weeks.
Yeah, 2.5. Okay, I was rushing things. I'm so excited. Dante, there are some interesting odds out about what position the Broncos are going to focus on with their first pick. And we know right now their first pick will be at the end of round 2. What are those odds?
Yeah, so we did it on the drive earlier, but we're looking at linebacker and defensive line/edge. Those two groups there are the favorite, followed by O-line and tight end are kind of stacked together there as well. And then safety and running back are stacked together as well at 7.5 to 1 plus 750. And then you got to get a little crazy with the odds here, but they have cornerback, wide receiver, and quarterback finishing up the top three there, or the bottom three, I guess, in terms of odds. So they expect it to be defense for the most part in terms of a linebacker or defensive line or edge. Those would be the favorites.
What position group or groups do you think they will wind up taking or targeting with their first pick, wherever it falls? Maybe they move up, maybe they move back into the third round. I don't see that necessarily happening, but they might move up a little bit if there's a guy available as the second round is unfolding. Where do you think they'll go?
I can see them going tight end. I feel like that's the glaring hole on this team is tight end. I don't know what we can expect from Evan Ingram in a bounce-back year. So I think tight end would be my position. That's who I would draft, at least if I was the GM of the Broncos. But I think they also think they need to address that.
Yeah, and they're starting to do their top 30 visits, and there's certainly some tight ends in that group. I absolutely see that, and I would be fine if they get a guy that they absolutely love. But, Dante, the way Sean Payton seems to build a team is up front. And for that reason, if I were to put money down, it would be on either O-line or D-line. And I think at that point, it really depends on the guys available and which guys they love more. And I could absolutely see them taking an offensive lineman at the end of the second round, given the contract situations with several of their guys, and not just the contract situations, but the ages of several of the guys up front. Powers last year of his deal. I mean, Bolsey's not going anywhere, but he's not getting any younger. Remember, he came into the league as like a 25-year-old rookie, so he was older to begin with. McGlinchey's getting up there and starting to look at that cap hit and go, ooh, after this year, they're going to have some potential decisions to make. So I could see them going O-line, and D-line I could see that happening just to, again, continue the influx of talent. Whether it be an interior guy, maybe it's an edge, I don't know. I do know that when you're talking about Sean Payton, and I think George to a large degree as well, it's build with the hogs in the trenches on either side of the ball.
Yeah, no, and I think that's a good philosophy in general. We've seen the Eagles do that for a number of years here, and they, year in and year out, have one of the better rosters around the NFL. So I don't think you can go wrong by taking any of the big guys up front on defense or offense. I just feel like Sean Payton maybe wants a shiny toy with his first pick there, so he might try to get himself an offensive weapon. Or maybe he fulfilled that shiny toy by trading for Jalen Waddle. So maybe he doesn't need anything else there offensively.
Well, he certainly got a shiny toy in Waddle. It's how many new shiny toys he wants, right? I mean, it's if they picked a tight end, I think you could apply the logic of what I just said about, the offensive line and bringing in another young guy to start to develop him to hopefully be a starter. I mean, if you're picking a guy at the end of the second round or maybe the middle of the second round if they trade up, you envision that guy taking over as a starter maybe as soon as 2027 when Ben Powers is no longer here. So that's a guy that would make an impact sooner than later. You could say the same thing about tight end. I just don't know that Sean Payton and George Payton see that position to be as important as the guys up front, as the O-linemen.
No, and I think that's a great point. So I would love if they picked an offensive lineman too. I don't think they necessarily need to go out and get a weapon like I'm suggesting a tight end there. What I do envision happening, though, I think they're going to trade up from their current pick, still in the second round, but I think you're going to see where the board lies after the first round and target a guy, isolate a guy, and say, hey, if we trade into the 10th pick in the second round, we can get our guy. I think something like that is definitely coming for this Broncos team.
I could absolutely see that. They still have a number of picks, and they traded a couple, obviously, in the Waddle deal, but they're not going to be afraid to trade again if they, again, see the guy that they want. And maybe Dante, they do it in the third round, or maybe they even do it in the fourth round if they feel the value is there and the guy that they want in the second round is falling to them, or that position isn't going to be as in demand. Here's what I want to see. I want to see them by the end of the draft, depending on how trades go. I want to see them come away with an O-lineman, not in any particular order, a D-lineman, a tight end, and an inside linebacker. I also think, and I know this was talked about when some of the early mock drafts came out, and the Broncos, many people had, or at least several people had, the Broncos taking the safety from Toledo, and I forget his name. I could see safety being a position they target at some point in the draft. I'm not sure, though, it will be second round. I think that would be too high given who they have coming back in Hufanga and Jones.
Yeah, I could see them going safety too. And that's what the beauty of this Broncos roster is, that they can kind of go anywhere they want with the draft. And we saw that a year ago when they went out and got Jahdae Barron. I don't think anybody was predicting cornerback in the first round at 20th overall. That kind of came out of nowhere. So I could see them running that back and just going best player available overall. We targeted this guy. We really like him, and we're going to draft and develop him. He doesn't need to go out there and play right away. There's not a lot of starting positions on this roster anyway, so they can afford to draft a guy and develop him, similar to what we saw Jahdae Barron a year ago. And I get that, yeah, you'd love to see, in this case it would be your second round pick, but your first draft pick coming in on that night, regardless, you'd love to see him go out there and play and make a big difference on this team, but that's just not where this Broncos roster is at. And that's what tends to happen when you have a great roster like this, is it's tough to crack the starting roster. So I could see them going a number of different directions. I think that's why you see a lot of those odds that I mentioned there. Even like I said, linebacker and D-line are the favorites. They're still plus 250. And to me, that signifies that there's not really an exact avenue that this Broncos front office has to go with. They can kind of pick whatever they want to pick.
And it might just be on who's available. Last thought on the Broncos comes from the RamosLaw.com text line, the 2253. I don't believe the Broncos are going to draft for their – the Broncos are going to draft for their most important need. He says, I don't believe that. I believe they stay fluid depending on how the draft board falls. Draft the best player available at that position, just like last year with the defensive back pick in the first round. Nobody thought they would do that. I think that's going to be similar. If there's that defensive lineman there at the end of the second round, middle of the second round, whoever they're targeting, I think they could go get that guy. Offensive line. Maybe it is that tight end that they just have to have. And I think that's what makes this fun because, as you said, Dante, we're at a baseline now. The foundation is the floor is so much higher than it was when Sean Payton took over, and this is the position you want to be in. You've got your basic starting lineup in place, and if you draft a guy that can crack that lineup or contribute in a major way his first year, that's ideal, but it's not a necessity. That's a great position to be in. There's going to be a national champion crowned in college basketball. There could be changes coming to the tournament. There is certainly a big change in Chapel Hill. We'll talk some college hoops next.
The Avalanche are built to chase a Stanley Cup, but Colorado's biggest question mark is sitting right in the blue paint. With Wedgwood, the goaltending looks solid. With Blackwood, every shot feels like a coin flip. The Avs are the favorites. The roster's loaded, the window's open. But the cup run might come down to the one thing they can't predict: the goaltending.
How can you feel confident moving forward with Blackwood in the back of your mind, knowing that kind of performance is lurking?
You can't. I think that part of you has fooled yourself into believing, hey, man, he's played really well. You know, he's like 4 starts in a row or 3 starts in a row, and he's played really good behind. No, I don't see a guy that has great confidence back there, that feels like the team has great confidence in him. I feel like that's a guy that they're trying to pump up. They're trying to give him confidence.
Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
Wesley is a truck driver.
I drive a truck, and I love what I do.
A truck driver with IRS troubles.
They told me I owed them $43,000.
It got really bad.
Quite a few letters in the mail. They were talking about wage garnishment, coming after my house, my car. Yeah, they don't play around. I seriously thought that I was going to lose everything.
One sleepless night, Wesley finally made a call to Optima Tax Relief at 2 a.m.
Kind of figured I'd get a machine, but I didn't. I actually got to talk to an actual person in the middle of the night.
He found just what he was looking for.
Oh, they were great people. You need a team of people that know what they're doing. Optima Tax. They know what they're doing.
Optima Tax Relief came through with flying colors.
I saved an incredible amount of money. Happy don't even come close. I was absolutely overjoyed.
Take Wesley's advice.
If you're in any kind of trouble with the IRS, call Optima Tax Relief. Don't trust anybody else.
Call Optima for a free consultation. Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Jake from State Farm. I just beat my run in PR, so I'm celebrating with the Banana Bonanza smoothie.
Hey, and you can keep celebrating when you create an affordable price just for you by bundling your home and auto with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. Go bananas.
I will. Hey, make it a large.
Bundling, just another way to save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
Soda weight loss is state-of-the-art. You've heard me say that for years and years now. Why? Because it's so true. And SodaDietNutrition.com is the website you need to go to, or call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. Listen, I lost 60 pounds a few years ago with SodaDietNutrition.com, and I'm never going back. Haven't gained the weight back. Why? Because I know how to eat, what to eat, and when to eat. All thanks to my friends at Soda Weight Loss. Soda, Diet, and Nutrition. You can join Soda for a short time to have results that last a lifetime. Join now, and your partner joins free. It's two people with real accountability for the price of one. Online, SodaDietNutrition.com, or call them up, 1-866-800-SODA. And just having that real nutritionist, having that program in place to help you lose the weight, it means everything. And right now, when your partner can join for free, with you get two people, real accountability, the price of one, it's a no-brainer. SodaDietNutrition.com is where you need to go. Soda Diet Nutrition, they're state-of-the-art.
Imagine finding your dream home and moving in right away. No waiting to sell your old place first. Sounds perfect, right? That's exactly what Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program lets you do. Buy your new home now and sell the old one later. Here's how it works. Orchard gives you cash so you can buy and move into your new home first, on your timeline. No waiting, no showings, no double moves. Then the Orchard experts take it from there. They handle repairs on your old home for you so you attract the right buyers. Once they're done, a local Orchard agent lists and sells your home for top dollar. Orchard's Move First program gives you the freedom to buy and move into your new home first and sell your old home later. Buy before you sell and get top dollar for your home with Orchard. Ready to find out how much your home is worth? Visit Orchard.com to get your free home valuation. That's Orchard.com.
303 Law 4040. Want to share one of the best compliments we've ever received. Had a listener call in to 303 Law 4040. His name was Peter. His wife was viciously attacked in a dog bite incident. So we set up a time to have him come in, and I met with him at length while his wife was recovering at the hospital. A couple days later, my wife recognized the number. She had spoken to Peter before. So when the phone call came in, she said, "Peter!" It was actually Peter's wife. She said, "How did you know?" She said, "Well, we love our clients." She was just surprised that we recognized the number. We had her come in, we met with her, and she says, I feel like we're your only clients. It's really awesome. We're not your only clients, are we? No, they're not our only clients, but what a compliment that our clients feel valued and that we treat them with such a high level of service. If you ever need us, that's the type of service you will get too. It's Jacob's Law, 303 Law 4040. That's 303 Law 4040. Save that number in your phone. You never know when you're going to need it.
Stream Stokely and Evans with Mark Schlereth, Dover and Cecil, The Drive, and all your favorite shows on the Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan app. Powered by Advanced Tax Solutions. Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan. Denver Sports Station 104.3 The Fan presents Denver Sports Tonight.
Few minutes left on Denver Sports Tonight. Mike and Dante keeping you company. Michigan against UConn in the men's basketball national championship game. Who you like, Dante? UConn, do they continue the magical run over the last several years, or is Michigan just too dominant?
I think Michigan's really good. I think they're the best team in the country. I bet a future on them. I bet 2 futures on them actually back in December. So I've been riding that bandwagon for a while now, and it's very funny. The team they're going up against, UConn, I've been calling them a fraud the last month, Mike, and I've been wrong every step of the way.
Crazy.
So who knows what's going to happen tonight? Because one of the teams I had incredibly high hopes on, and I placed it perfectly of this team's going to go on and win a national title, and the other team I was saying they could lose in the Sweet 16, and here they are in the championship proving me wrong.
I think it was this year, so long ago. Didn't the Buffs beat UConn way back early in the season?
Ooh. They might have. I am not sure. It was a down year for the Buffs this year,
I know.
So I didn't pay attention too
but
much to Colorado basketball.
I can't remember the year. I'm going to look quickly as we finish it out. 76 teams is the report. Soon after tonight's game, maybe not like tonight, but maybe tonight. I don't think so, but sometime in the next few days or a week or whatever, the reports are that the tournament's going to expand to 76 teams, and there'll be 24 teams playing in those opening rounds. Do you like the tournament going to that number?
I don't like it at all. I think they should make it more exclusive. I think 64 was the perfect amount of teams, and basically this just tells me they're going to put more of the Power 5 schools in there. We're going to see 500 teams out of the SEC. Not 500 the total. I mean, their record will be 500. There'll be, what would that be, like 25 and 25? I forget exactly how many games they play in college basketball. But yeah, we're going to have just average teams out of the SEC, average teams out of the Big 10, average teams out of the Big 12. I don't think we need more of that in the tournament. Will I watch and bet on those games? Absolutely. But I think it's unnecessary.
Well, but that's all they care about, right? I mean, see, that you're going to watch. We're all going to watch. We're going to have a bigger bracket. All of that. Well, ultimately, I don't know that it's going to matter. It'll make a few Cinderella runs that much more magical. I don't know that we're going to see any of those teams 69 through 76 make a deep run, but I mean, you never know. Team gets hot, finds a way. Look, there's too much money in it. That's why they're doing it.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They can make more money off. I have a question for you, though.
Yeah, and by the way, the Buffs did not play UConn this year. It just was see, I must have been last year. Anyway, go ahead.
Is Michael Malone going to be leading his team to March Madness a year from now?
Yes. Michael Malone set to take over as the new coach at North Carolina. I think there'll be an adjustment period. There's no patience in Chapel Hill. I think he's a smart coach. I'm a Michael Malone fan. I think he's a really good coach. I think he'll figure it out. And yes, I would fully expect there to be an improvement, shall we say, for the Tar Heels.
Well, the issue hasn't been making the tournament. It's about winning in the tournament.
I know.
With Hubert Davis, ever since that first run he had. I think he's going to be great at North Carolina. I'm surprised he took the job, though. I felt like he could have got a decently good NBA job here in the next coming cycle. So I'm a little surprised that that's what he decided to do, but I think he'll be really good at it. Basketball X's and O's, I have zero questions about. It's maybe about the transfer portal. I'm a little curious how he handles that, how he handles recruiting, how he handles his NIL budget. But once it gets to game time and once they tip that ball off, I think he's going to be a top 10 coach in college basketball.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. Dante, always fun. Enjoy the week. That's Dante Gomez. I'm Mike Rice. Thanks for joining us on Denver Sports Tonight.
Get ready, Broncos country. This is the event you've been waiting for. Join Peyton Manning, Emmanuel Sanders, Von Miller, DeMarcus Ware, Aqib Talib, TJ Ward, and Coach Gary Kubiak as they reunite to relive their legendary Super Bowl 50 run. It's Night of Champions, a live, unforgettable show packed with stories, memories, and a behind-the-scenes look at one of the greatest seasons in NFL history. And Denver Sports 104.3 The Fan wants you to be there. Enter now for your chance to win a 4-pack of tickets at DenverSports.com/champions. Don't miss this once-in-a-lifetime night with the heroes of Super Bowl 50.
I've never put much stock in astrology, but with the new multiplier scratch, the stars are aligned for some pretty big prizes. Because no matter your moon sign or what Mercury's up to, your win can get multiplied up to 200 times with prizes up to $1 million, which could steer your life into a very interesting new phase. New Multiplier Scratch from the Colorado Lottery. Multiply your win up to 200 times. Must be 18 to play.
When your check engine light comes on, do you see a repair bill or do you see peace of mind? For 20 years, CarShield's been the name America trusts to help keep you on the road. While other companies stop covering you when your car gets older, CarShield offers protection plans up to 200,000 miles. With over $1 billion in claims paid, we don't just promise protection, we deliver it. Don't let a breakdown break your budget. Get the flexible month-to-month coverage you deserve. Go to carshield.com. That's carshield.com today.
Progressive knows you want to get away, but not like too away. You crave the unknown, but also charcuterie boards with 4 types of cheese. And that's exactly why you bought an RV and bundled it with Progressive, because 24/7 protection is one luxury you'll never have to give up. So go ahead, explore the wilderness, all from the comfort of your zero-gravity camp chair. Switch to Progressive and protect your RV, boat, or motorcycle by bundling with your home or auto insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Tired of hearing scary radio ads about the IRS? Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000 or $500,000, we have a solution. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS with zero risk to you. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with a BBB. End your tax nightmare today by visiting TRA.com or call 800-583-6681. That's 800-583-6681.
Still haven't filed your taxes? Hey, you're not the only one. A lot of good people fall behind. But here's the thing. The longer you wait, the harder the IRS can hit back. Penalties stack up. Interest piles on. The letters get more aggressive. None of it magically disappears. It's why I always tell folks, call my friends at Advanced Tax Solutions. These are not generalists. They don't dabble in tax problems. They live in this world. Resolving IRS issues is all they do. Maybe you're 1 year behind. Maybe you're 10. Maybe you've got unfiled returns, wage garnishments, bank levies, or you're just losing sleep wondering what the IRS is going to do next. Their licensed tax professionals can step in fast, talk to the IRS for you, stop the stress, and start putting a real plan in place. And listen, waiting never makes it better. Every day you delay is another day the IRS gets to tighten the screws. One quick call to Advanced Tax Solutions, that could be the start of a quick resolution. So take control of your tax situation before the IRS does. Reach out to Advanced Tax Solutions today and breathe again.
Are you looking to find more fairways, hit more greens, and lower your scores? Then it's time for a custom fitting from a Shields certified master fitter. Learning from the world's top fitters at Titleist Performance Institute, Callaway Performance Center, and the Ping Proving Grounds, we have the tools and expertise to match the right clubs to your swing for a more consistent game. Elevate your play today. Visit shields.com/expert fitting to schedule your session.
KKFN and KKFN HD1 Longmont, Denver. You're listening to Denver Sports 104.3. The Fan.
First title since 1989. Huskies trying to make it 3 in the last 4 years. Solo Ball and Yaxel Lendeborg both good to go tonight, and a 9-4 Michigan lead at the under 16 timeout in the first half. 15:42 on the clock. Elliot Cadeau, 5 points, 1 of 2 from the field. Morez Johnson Jr., 2 of 3. Michigan starting 3 of 7 from the floor. A couple of field goals for the Huskies. 2 points for Terrace Reed Jr. and for Solo Ball. Elsewhere, new head coach at North Carolina. The Tar Heels hiring former Nuggets coach Michael Malone. He led Denver to the 2023 NBA title, the winningest coach in franchise history with 510 across 12 seasons. In baseball, Monday night schedule getting going, including a World Series matchup north of the border. Dodgers have won 7 of 9 to start the season. Jays just 4 and 5. LA up 7-1 and looking for more in the top of the 6th inning. Have gotten some big swings tonight. Teoscar Hernandez, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei Ohtani have all homered. Ohtani hitting a big fly in the top of the 6th inning to help add to the LA lead. Been a good night for Justin Robleski. 5 innings, 1 earned with 4 walks, working around it with a pair of strikeouts. The Dodgers chasing Max Scherzer after just 2 innings.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ Chris Candy coming up Tuesday as the NFL draft gets closer. I'll tell you which teams have the most on the line with their first-round pick. It's Unsportsmanlike weekday mornings at 6 right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
This is Amber and Ian on ESPN Radio.
Fireball.
The national championship in men's college basketball is underway. You're listening to Amber and Ian. We're going to keep you updated on the live action all throughout the night here on ESPN Radio. ESPN Radio is presented to you by Progressive Insurance. At Ian Fitz, ESPN is how you find him. At Amber W Sports is how you find me. At the light on your phone, still distracted. Put the phone away or pay. That is paid for by NHTSA. We will keep you updated on all things college ball, but let's talk a little bit about the NBA for a moment here, Ian, because the Los Angeles Lakers are tumbling. They are tumbling in terms of their odds to win an NBA title, heck, to win a Western Conference title. I mean, they were always a long shot, Ian, but they had been creeping up in recent weeks. They'd been playing really, really well. Even defensively, it felt like they were clicking. LeBron had settled into a role there as a 3 basically on the team. And then Luka goes down with an injury. And then Austin Reeves goes down with an injury. Luka's missing the rest of at least the regular season. And Austin Reeves, heck, his timeline is into the postseason, Ian. And now the Lake Show, according to DraftKings, they're a 120-1 favorite there to win an NBA title.
Cue up Dandy Don Meredith from Monday Night Football. Turn out the lights. The party's over. They're not going anywhere, Amber. I mean, they're going to be one and done as a 50-win team. It's over. Without Luka, without Austin Reeves, they have zero chance, in my opinion. There you go. Fire it up. Go ahead if you got it, man. Hit it.
They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over, and tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
Right there. They were drinking in the booth right there on Monday Night Football back in the day in the 70s, right? With Danny Don Meredith, the pride of SMU, Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
I had no idea what you were referencing. I was very confused. I had no idea what you were referencing when you started singing.
Dandy Don Meredith?
I was just rolling
Monday Night Football with Keith Jackson? Are you kidding me?
I don't remember the 70s very well.
But I don't remember the Beatles. I never saw them, right? I mean, I wasn't around when Gaslight was made as a movie, but I've watched it. What? You really didn't know? You had no idea about Dandy Don Meredith singing in the movie?
Look, we're not as old as you, buddy.
So, again, I was like a zygote when that happened, but I knew about it.
Can anybody else help me out? Josh Kapke. There's no way you knew what that was.
I wasn't watching Babe Ruth.
You're like half my age.
I knew nothing about it.
Thank
I wasn't watching. Hey, hold on a minute. I wasn't watching Babe Ruth, but I know what happened.
Josh, did you know?
I mean, I did, but I'm almost as old as he is. So.
But again, I was like 3. I didn't remember it. I just seen it and heard about it, and then I go watch it and study it. So
now that I've heard
that's one of the great broadcasting moments in the history of Monday Night Football. Dandy Don Meredith, where they had the mic hanging off his chest. Right? They didn't even have headsets then. I mean, the microphone was like was strapped around their shoulders, and held in front of them.
They didn't have the lav mic. They wasn't.
No, hell no. I mean, cue it up again. I mean, for a younger audience, I got Amber Wilson, who has never. Again, I was like 2 when this happened, but I've heard about it. I went and saw it, and I love it. When a game is over, you cue up Dandy Don Meredith. Hit it.
Turn out the lights. the party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.
Boogity, 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 boogity. And then that's what he did at the end. Yeah.
Did they serve alcohol back then in the
Oh, they were.
press box?
I think he puked in the booth at one point. At some, during broadcast.
Those must have been the good old days.
Keith Jackson.
There's
Dandy
been some
Don,
games I've gone to
Frank
where I could have
Gifford,
used some alcohol in the press box, Ian.
Jerry Jones does that.
I know you always tell me that. I have never witnessed the glory. I've been to Jerry World numerous times. I've never been there for a Cowboys game. So I guess that's why. I've never witnessed the glory of them serving beer in the press box there at Jerry's World.
We will get to the Lakers in one moment. This is a true story. So the first time I'm covering it, I moved to Dallas, and I'm covering the Cowboys with the great Randy Galloway. And the spread in the press box for a Cowboy game is second to none. It's sliced filet mignon. It's the homemade mac and cheese. It's roasted reds. The salad with our balsamic vinaigrette is spectacular. Cheesecake, chocolate cake, whatever you want for dessert. And then at the start of the fourth quarter, you have two taps there. It's Miller Lite and Peroni, an Italian beer. And at the start of the fourth quarter, they come in and tap the kegs. And the first guy in line is the great Randy Galloway. Goes and pours himself a Miller Lite, and he watches the fourth quarter, taking notes for his column. And this is a Hall of Fame columnist and a Texas Sports Hall of Famer. Where, like Jimmy Johnson was on his – this is the man that Jimmy Johnson called to phone in, put it in 3-inch headlines. We are beating San Francisco in the NFC Championship game. He called Randy Galloway's show. So Galloway was always the first one in line, got his Miller Lite, went back to his seat, and then started writing his story, his column for the rest of the game. Jerry Jones, every single home game, taps those kegs at the start of the fourth quarter.
That's great.
So there you go, going back to Dandy Don, a former Dallas Cowboy quarterback, SMU Mustang, right there, turn out the lights. And that's what the Lakers had to do.
Yeah, now you brought it back around.
Turn out the lights. The party is over.
It does feel
done.
over for the Lakers this season. Chris Canty, he hosts a show right here on ESPN Radio called Unsportsmanlike, and he said just that.
I wanted to enjoy whatever this postseason run was going to be in the hopes that they could get to the Final Four, they could get to the championship rounds, because that would be further than I even anticipated coming into this season.
No doubt.
But to have it end like this, it already feels like it's ended, even though they're still playing games, even though we still got the playoffs. It feels like the season is already over.
It's over. It
does feel over. Yeah. I mean, there's going to be a postseason, and Luka might be back. Austin Reeves would come back probably during it if they can continue fourth during the postseason past the first round. So it's not like there's not a shot. And LeBron is playing otherworldly. I mean, LeBron put up, 30 last night?
And lost to the Mavericks. Yeah.
Cooper Flagg outlasted him. Cooper Flagg was unbelievable. I mean, the Rookie of the Year odds flipped last night.
Over. That's
from
over
Cooper
too.
Flagg's performance. He put up 45 last night against
but 51
this Lakers
the name before that.
He's the first rook since Allen Iverson to put up over 40 in back-to-back games. Cooper Flagg is out here doing things that we have not seen in a very, very long time. But he's 19, okay? Let me know when you're 41, Cooper, and you're still doing it. Because what LeBron's doing, putting up 30 at 41, I'm grading on a curve, Ian. Okay? I just had to stand up from sitting down, because sitting down from a radio show making me a little sore, because that's the 40s. That's what happens in your 40s. You start getting a little sore, Ian, from just existing. And LeBron's putting up 30 points. And the stat line that he put up beyond that as well. A season high in rebounds.
Look,
he's unbelievable.
I agree with what
41.
LeBron has done this year, averaging over 20 points a game at the age of 41, is spectacular. Still flying,
It's more impressive.
and
It's more
dunking
impressive
and
than
everything
anything
else.
these young whippersnappers are doing.
Yeah, but what you mentioned, Cooper Flagg, he's the first teenager in the history of the game to score over 50.
Fine, but nothing hurts when you're 19 years old, okay?
Well, I don't know
Everything
about that.
hurts when you're 41, like
I
LeBron.
could say something, but we're not on satellite radio. But I will say this: when it comes to the Lakers, it was a heck of a ride. They're a 50-win team, but the ride is done. Unless they find some miracle matchup to get out of the first round and then get Luka back for the second round, which I don't see happening. It's church. It's over. And the big question is now, will LeBron be a Laker next year? Will he be back at home in Cleveland for the Swan Song? Or does he just say, sayonara, he's done?
No, I can't imagine him being done without the retirement tour, but who knows? He has said before that he doesn't necessarily need it. It'll be interesting to see. I tend to agree with you. I don't think the Lakers are winning a Western Conference title anyways this season.
Hell no.
With or without those other two key pieces, but I agree with you. With this injury now, with Luka and to Austin Reeves, it's way too much to overcome. This NCAA championship update, because we also did talk about the NCAA tournament, and we're going to continue to keep you updated throughout the night here on ESPN Radio. It's a tied game right now. It is very, very early on. This NCAA championship update is brought to you by Marriott Bonvoy. Traveling for game day? Make Marriott Bonvoy your home base for pregame moments and postgame stories. Marriott Bonvoy, where game day